And then 18, I did not give you a question, so you can just skip over 18. You would be given a graph and then have to write the equation from the graph. We've done that on some of the practice 10 things, and you also should have example like that on your Unit 2 practice test. Okay, 19. This one wants us to write an inequality, so as soon as I see inequality, I know that this is not going to have an equal sign. Exactly, so it's going to have one of those special symbols. So admission to the fair is $5.75, and each ride costs 50 cents. You have $20 to spend. So if I say, I know I'm spending $5.75, go away. Angie, I'm sorry if you're trying to watch this. She's not at the moment, but so $5.75 plus 50 cents per ride, so 50 cents for X. Can we spend more than 20 or less than 20? Less, right? We can't go over. So less than 20. Could we spend the whole 20 maybe? I mean, if it comes out that we could, yeah. I mean, we're allowed to spend all of it. We may not be able to because it doesn't look like it's going to divide evenly. So then when we subtract 5.75, we get 14 1/4, right? 14.25. And then when we divide that by 50 cents, we get 28.5. Now, are you going to be able to go on half of a ride?
No.
No. Okay. Are they going to say you have almost enough money? I'll let you know. So that's why it says less than or equal to. So 28 rides. You're just going to go home with like a quarter left in your pocket. But you cannot ride more than that. You can only ride 28. And then number 20, the X starts out in the middle. We're just going to leave it in the middle. We could split it into two completely different things, but maybe the simplest way, just think of, I want to get the X by itself, so I need to subtract this 6, and I'm going to do it also over here and over here, and then I can just get it all done at the same time. So then I have negative 21 is less than or equal to 3x less than or equal to 12. And then when we divide all that by 3, we have negative 7 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 4. See how the x is in between? It's going to be in between on my graph. These are both closed circles since they both have the or equal line, and my shading is in between. The x is on the greater side when compared to the negative 7, and on the less side when compared to the 4. So it would be between those things. And then here we have one that the thing to graph here is over at the right. So somebody asked me if they weren't supposed to do 21. Christina, it's over here at the right. It just got jacked up. So your equation there is all the way to the right. It just something probably in my spacing. So we're going to subtract x, get this in slope-intercept form. If I want to get it in slope-intercept, I could probably also find my intercepts in this case because the graph has enough space, but then plus 10, divide it all by 5. That is not 5x, so please hopefully you don't have negative 5x there. That's negative 1/5 x plus 2. So after I have it in slope-intercept form, I'm going to start at 2, go down 1 and over 5. And about like that. And we know that parallel lines are the same slope, In this case, it says perpendicular. So perpendicular, remember, we need opposite and reciprocal. So opposite and flipped. So which number first in this equation is the slope? 5 or 4? 5. So looking at the 5, it's positive, so I know it's going to be negative, and 5 is the same as 5 over 1. So if I flip it, that's 1/5, and then it needs to be negative. So negative 1/5. And almost every time we've had one of those ECA practice pages, we see one of these, like, write an equation from 2 points. That probably should tell you, probably good probability that you're going to see something like that. So remember, we need to follow our steps. We're going to find M, find B, and then write the equation. That's basically our guideline there. We need to find M, find B, write the equation. So subtract the y's on top to find M. I could do 6 minus 3 or 3 minus 6. I just have to go in the same order on the bottom. So if I do 6 minus 3, then I have to do 5 minus 2. And then that gives me 3 over 3. So my slope is 1. Then y equals mx plus b. If I use 5, 6, I have 6 equals 1 times 5 plus b. 6 equals 5 plus something. And if I minus 5, or I may just know, oh, 6 equals 5 plus 1. So b is also 1 in this case, which means my final equation is y equals 1x plus 1. Or you could just say y equals x plus 1. That would be the same thing. Apparently I've just burned it up. And then on 24, this is easier than it looks. It's only asking you to write an equation. It is not asking you to solve. So in slope-intercept form, y equal, which one is happening over and over? Which one is, yeah, that's the per hour. So y equals 15x plus 10. And then this last one, which one is a solution? We just need to plug it in and see if it works. If we find one that works, we don't have to keep going unless it would say, like, select all. So in this first one, we want to see, does 6 equal 3 times 4 minus 6? Well, 12 minus 6 is 6. 6 does equal 6. That's true. So I take it and leave it. That's it. And then that leaves our last page,